I'm
Before
listening.
my arrest, the only condition that I had been told I had was deep vein thrombosis and pulmonary emboli, which never came back.
Mm.
Okay? Even the VA couldn't find them nowhere. When they was looking for them, they couldn't find them. I'm still smoking local, whatever you can get marijuana, if you know. Okay? Take my chances with whatever you can get marijuana. Which now that I look back, is very dangerous. I guess we've been trained to just take marijuana from wherever we can get it, that we'll take the chance. Well, like I say, I only had those two illnesses. After I got arrested on February the 13th, 2019, and stopped using marijuana altogether, I developed peripheral arterial disease in 2020. And in 2021, those blood clot DVTs and pulmonary embolism hit me with a vengeance. You see, what the government won't tell you is the metabolites, the stuff they bust us for when they do a urine test.
Yes,
it's protecting our bodies as long as it's still in our system. We be trying to get it out of our system as quick as possible. Boy, I done smoked me some weed. I gotta get rid of this stuff. Want to flush it out, but it don't want to come out. That's because the body is using it to help fight cancers, diabetes, the whole 9 yards. But don't think if you smoke one joint, during 1 week, it's gonna do some protection. You gotta use cannabis on a daily, several times a day basis. You have to treat it like big pharma's dope. And the only way you can afford it, because you can't afford it when they put all these taxes on it, state trying to be a profiteer. They trying to be in the so-called black market. I call it the underground. They trying to be just as criminal as the criminal element. They want to make all kinds of money off of this plant. Well, the only way that the people who are really sick, age-related illnesses, and on fixed income can have a chance at being able to treat their own condition is they got to be allowed to grow their own. Yeah. Then they know what they putting in their medicine. To me, I call the plant food. The reason I call it food is anything I put down my mouth is food.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, if I put you in my mouth and I swallow you, you food. And when you think about it, food does have medicinal properties.
It does.
Stop eating and see, don't you start having aches and pains and you getting weak.
Yeah.
Stop drinking that water and see what happens. You shut down. But you gotta eat to be healthy. So food is medicine. And cannabis is no different. It is a food that has medicinal properties. Now, I was gonna tell them what happened after my arrest.
Okay.
After I got those DVTs and PEs to come back with a vengeance in 2021, I finally, I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I ain't no fool. The federal government said in the Agriculture Improvement Act, signed by President Donald Trump on December the 20th, 2018, that hemp is not marijuana. So I decided I'm gonna get me some of that good hemp. You can't get it from Georgia, so I got me some of that Colorado hemp. Okay. And I checked the people out, and they seem like they care about how they grow their hemp. And I was using it, as I told my doctor. She a vascular surgeon who wanted to put a stent in my leg when I had passed. She's like, your leg's so bad, Mr. Johnson, I need to put a stent in it right now. And the reason she said it was so bad, and this is out of Anderson Heart and Vascular. She said, Mr. Johnson, your left popliteal arterial pressure is zero pressure. And your central femoral artery pressure is only 26.9. The pressure is supposed to be up around 160, but they so far down. She didn't even know how I walked in there with a smile, because I'm using me some hemp. Why did I want the hemp? Because my studies showed me that cannabidiol, CBD, is a great vasodilator. Now, what do I mean by vasodilator? It will make the arteries and veins expand. If they expand, I can start to get blood flow. I just got to start walking. It was while I was walking it, done got up to like 10 times around my house feeling good, that I brought on the DDTs and the P's. You see, CBD is a vasodilator. THC is a dissolver of neoplasms, meaning tumor, cancer, or blood clots. It grab hold to a DVT blood clot and it dissolves it.
Okay.
Now, what's so good about that? THC, if it dissolved the blood clot, well, ain't if I had to go on and prove that, that's coming later. But it dissolved the blood clot without stopping the natural coagulation of the body. So if I'm using cannabis THC, I don't have to worry about blood clots. And if I get a cut, like in a car accident or something, I don't have to worry about bleeding out like we do with big pharma drugs that thin your blood. And when you need it to coagulate to stop bleeding, it won't. Like Eliquis that I'm taking now. Yeah, I got a whole bunch of dope from the VA today. They sent me a whole bag full of dope. And they don't mind sending it to me because it's FDA approved. Ain't that something?
And they have all those lawsuits and stuff like that they have with the FDA. Think about this. It's a war on cannabis anyway. If it's a war on cannabis, then there has to be the military contracts for that too. If you think about the medications and stuff that they are prescribing to the vets. So basically, it's a continual process. You end up going to war when you go to the military, and then when you leave the military, you're still fighting for your life because they still have other contracts with other pharmaceutical companies. That's how I see it. So I'm just like, this is crazy. And they want to keep everybody locked up under control by pharmaceuticals, tobacco, without cannabis. I'm sorry, alcohol, tobacco, and pharmaceuticals. Not only that, you got to think about the fact, even here in Georgia, they push the fact they want to go ahead and worry about passing the gambling bill, which I do believe passed. So they're more concerned about gambling and adding on to other people's condition and addictions to gambling over trying to, for people to be healed. So
I'm going to tell you more about what you talking about in my rant when I get ready to rant. But let me finish this so we can get to the next question.
I got you. I'm sorry.
All right.
I'm sorry. Yeah,
all right. June 30th of 2022. The judge denied me from telling the jury why I even grew my plants from 2016 to 2019 and how it healed me. The VA was still doing my laboratories. They were still doing MRI. They were doing all kinds of tests. They continue to do tests as long as they believe you taking a dope. But you tell them you ain't taking a dope, then they won't do nothing because they got to say they treating you for something. See, that's the racket. You got to be treated for something. So for those 3 years that I wasn't using synthetic drugs of any type, I just used cannabis that I was growing. Strain that was supposedly the strongest strains on earth. I did a lot of research, just like I did research into all these patents. I found out which one of those seed banks are reputable, reliable. You can trust them. And I did my best to grow to the best of my ability, which the Lord God, thanking, stepped in, touched me on how to grow it, which is a slight bit different from how everybody else is growing it that's mass producing it.
Okay.
They forgot about what the plant needs, and they start worrying about a whole lot of things that they could easily fit that I'm not going to go into now, but I will tell you this. They say sudden Wilk syndrome don't have a cure. Yes, it does. The Lord helped me to find out the cure for sudden Wilk syndrome. That's a condition that strikes primarily in hydroponics.
Okay.
I grow hydroponically. Okay. And as I was saying once before, I grow hydroponically because I can control the heavy metals. If I don't put the heavy metals in the water with the nutrient, ain't no way my plants can have heavy metals. So the government can go with that. Oh, you get heavy metals. You ain't going to get no heavy metals if you grow it yourself. And these senior citizens can easily learn how to grow hydroponically. or they can get some soil that's been sterilized, don't have heavy metals in it if they want to grow in soil. Either way, it's our constitutional right to grow. But moving on, when they convicted me, I thanked the jury. I told them basically in so many words, if you look at my transcript, if they ever get it,
Okay.
I basically told the jury to do their duty based on the information that was brought to their attention, which a lot of mine include, well, all of my exhibits were suppressed. You know, the judge upheld everything the DA said, so all of mine was suppressed. And even though I can make a fool out of that so-called expert of theirs, supposed to be a narcotic and marijuana expert, I made a fool out of him on the stand, but I'd rather wait so folks can see the actual court transcript so they can laugh. So after I done told the jury to basically do their constitutional duty and just don't have no sympathy for this 60-some-year-old man in front of you, just go by what the facts say. Do your duty. Well, when they came back, the foreman for the jury, she was smiling when they said they found me guilty on both charges. Well, I was in there for 3 charges.
Okay.
Manufacture of marijuana, possession with intent to distribute, and this thing about having tetrahydrocannabinol in substance with no morphological features of the plant, cannabis, right? Well, they had to drop that one because I told this stupid DA that, look, there is no way you're going to prove today that I have a way to make synthetic THC, which I do not, and I would not. Even if I knew how to make it, I wouldn't.
Okay.
And I have no equipment to extract pure THC from the plants. And that law was basically designed, that statute was basically designed for people who are moving synthetic THC, not for the natural THC from the plant. Because as we know, the definition of the plant marijuana at the time I was arrested said that all parts of the plant of the genus cannabis, including its resin, is marijuana. So that means that the resin, which has THC in it, CBD, CBG, CBN, go on with it, all of that is considered marijuana, not tetrahydrocannabinol. That's only for synthetic, okay? I can only imagine how many innocent people have been, you know, they done had that charge added to them when they try to stack these charges on people, all right? They try to stack it to make you plea bargain. In fact, they had that same charge on me twice originally. I had 4 charges, and 2 of them was for synthetic, which I never did. So he dropped that one during court.
Okay.
Here we are. I'm convicted. I thank the jury for doing their duty, which they were shocked. I told them all, don't you feel bad. Have a good, safe drive home. And the Lord and I thank you. I mean, really.
Yeah, okay.
Anyway, they sent me to prison.
Oh, wow.
They sent me to prison, and they decided that they weren't even going to give me anticoagulants at first. First I went to jail at the Hart County Sheriff's Office. They didn't even want to give me anticoagulants. And when they did give it to me, instead of my Eliquis, they put me back on WASP, the rat poison.
Okay.
All right. So I goes to Jackson State Prison. Happened to be there when they have a ride on August the 20th, 2022. I'm in E Block. They set the damn thing on fire. The inmates got upset and set it on fire. Smoke was everywhere. I'm in my cell. I done wet a towel, wrapped it around my face like they taught me in the Navy, and I'm saying to myself, I guess I'm finna die, Lord. I guess I'm finna die. Some good old inmates broke the windows out so that the air could come in and the smoke could go out. I survived. That's one of my PTSD. That's when my PTSD developed. Because I ain't got no cannabis to keep the PTSD down. So I'm reliving this thing over and over again. That's traumatic.
Yeah.
Now, while I'm in prison, they suddenly say my PSA done went up to 20. Anybody got prostate cancer or know about prostate cancer know that the normal range is 0 to 4. And St. Mary Hospital, when I had those pulmonary embolisms and DVTs in 2021, did a full lab, and my PSA was 4. But the following year, my PSA, when I'm in the prison system, is 20.
We appreciate Count Shane for sharing this whole story. Please go there to check it out.